Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive all about naturally reversing aging. We're taking a look at this piece called Pasted Text. And you know what's so cool about this? It's not like we're searching for some magical fountain of youth or anything. It's more like we're tacking into nature, using what we eat, how we move, and even how we think to feel more vibrant and, yeah, maybe even a little younger. Are you ready to unlock some of these secrets? I know I am.
Absolutely. And the best part is that many of these strategies are backed by science. You can actually start using them today.
Okay, let's jump right in. One of the first things that really grabbed my attention in this piece was all about antioxidant-rich foods. It's like these foods have all these little warriors inside fighting aging at a cellular level.
Yeah, and what's interesting is it's not just about eating any fruit or veggie. The piece highlights specific antioxidants like polyphenols found in berries. They've been linked to better brain function and even a lower risk of certain cancers. So it's about choosing your food strategically to get the most benefit.
That's a great point. It's not just about eating healthy in general. It's about understanding the specific benefits of different foods. Now, while we're on the topic of feeling youthful, the source also talks about how powerful physical activity can be.
There's a reason exercise is often called the fountain of youth. We tend to think of it as just for physical health, but this piece highlights how movement can also affect our cells. It specifically mentions telomeres, those protective caps on our DNA that get shorter as we age. Studies have shown that regular physical activity can actually help keep those telomeres longer, so it could slow down aging at its core.
Whoa, I've heard about telomeres, but never really understood how they connect to exercise. It's not just building muscle, it's about protecting our DNA. Speaking of protection, the piece also talks about collagen and how it helps keep skin looking young.
Right? Collagen is like that essential building block that keeps our skin firm and plump. But here's what's really interesting. The piece goes beyond just saying eat more collagen-boosting foods. It suggests focusing on specific nutrients like vitamin C. This can actually boost our body's natural collagen production. So instead of just taking supplements, we're helping our bodies do what they already do, just better.
That makes so much sense. It's like we're becoming the architects of our own health. We're understanding how things work and giving our bodies the tools to thrive. Now, something we often forget about in the anti-aging conversation is stress. But the piece really emphasizes the link between chronic stress and faster aging.
And you know what's fascinating is that chronic stress doesn't just make us feel older, it actually affects us at a cellular level. The piece cites studies showing how long-term stress can lead to inflammation throughout the body, and that contributes to everything from wrinkles to a weaker immune system.
Wow, so it's not just about feeling frazzled, it's about real measurable damage happening inside. So what strategies does the piece suggest for dealing with this stress?
It goes beyond the usual advice like meditate more or take a bath. The piece suggests actively adding stress-reducing activities into your daily routine. It's almost like taking stress vitamins. For example, it highlights how powerful nature can be. Studies show that even a short time spent in nature can lower stress hormones and blood pressure.
So a walk in the park isn't just a nice thing to do, it's like a targeted way to improve your health and maybe even live longer. And speaking of things that help us feel restored, the piece also emphasizes how important sleep is for cell repair and rejuvenation.
Yeah, and here's where the piece gets really specific, which I appreciate. It's not just about getting 8 hours. It digs into the different stages of sleep, like how deep sleep is important for physical repair, and REM sleep is important for cognitive function. It even suggests things like keeping a consistent sleep schedule and making your sleep environment better to maximize those crucial sleep stages.
So it's not just quantity, it's quality sleep too. It really makes you think about how often we sacrifice those restorative hours for late night work or scrolling on social media. And along with sleep, the source points to hydration as a simple but powerful tool for feeling our best.
It's amazing how much something as basic as water can affect our health. The piece highlights how dehydration can literally make us feel and look older. Think dry skin fatigue, even problems with thinking clearly. It emphasizes staying hydrated throughout the day, not just when we feel thirsty. This helps with everything from how our cells function to getting rid of waste.
You know, it's so easy to forget about the basics. We get caught up in fancy supplements and complicated routines. But sometimes the simplest solutions are the most powerful. Speaking of simple, the source introduces this concept that's been getting a lot of buzz lately, intermittent fasting.
Yeah, intermittent fasting is more than just a trendy diet. The piece dives into the science behind it, explaining how it can trigger something called autophagy. It's like a cellular recycling program, cleaning out damaged parts of cells to make room for newer, healthier cells. This process has been linked to everything from better insulin sensitivity to less inflammation, both of which are crucial for healthy aging.
Wow, that's incredible. So by strategically timing our meals, we could actually be boosting our body's natural cleaning and repair systems. That's a powerful concept. Now, for those looking for an extra boost, the piece also mentions natural supplements.
It's important to be thoughtful about supplements, though. Instead of recommending a specific plan, the source emphasizes understanding how different supplements work and choosing ones that address your individual needs. For example, it highlights CoQ10, an antioxidant that plays a key role in energy production within our cells. And those levels naturally decline with age. So if you're feeling low energy, CoQ10 might be worth looking into. But it's not a blanket recommendation for everyone.
That makes sense. It's about personalizing our approach to aging, not just following a one-size-fits-all plan. Now, shifting gears a bit, the source also highlights the importance of social connections for longevity.
We often think of aging as purely physical, but this piece emphasizes how important social well-being is for healthy aging. Studies have shown that people with strong social connections tend to live longer and have a lower risk of chronic diseases. And it's not just about having a ton of friends, it's about having meaningful, supportive relationships that give you a sense of belonging and purpose.
Yeah, it's about feeling connected and supported throughout life's journey. That makes a lot of sense. Now, while we're talking about feeling good, let's talk about something many of us care about: our skin. The source has some interesting tips for protecting it naturally and maintaining that youthful glow.
We often think of skincare as all about creams and serums, but this source goes deeper than that. It emphasizes protecting our skin from the inside out, starting with a diet rich in antioxidants and healthy fats. It also highlights simple habits like wearing sunscreen daily, even on cloudy days, and staying hydrated to keep skin plump and supple.
It's like taking a holistic approach to skincare. It's understanding that what we put into our bodies and how we protect ourselves from the environment is just as important as the products we use.
Exactly. The piece also mentions natural oils like rosehip and argan oil. They can nourish and protect the skin without harsh chemicals.
So many great takeaways already, and we've only just scratched the surface. Now, for something a bit unexpected, the source talks about lifelong learning as a key to staying youthful.
I love this concept. It's all about keeping our minds engaged and stimulated. The source points out that learning new skills, pursuing hobbies, or even just being curious about the world can help us maintain cognitive function and prevent that age-related decline.
So it's not just about preventing wrinkles, it's about keeping our minds sharp and engaged too. It's like exercise for the brain, helping us stay adaptable as we age. Now, for our final point in this part of the deep dive, let's talk about hormonal balance.
Hormones are crucial for everything from energy levels to mood to how our bodies age. The source points out that as we get older, our hormone levels naturally change, and this can contribute to all sorts of symptoms. However, it suggests that by making lifestyle choices, we can help keep our hormones balanced and minimize those age-related changes.
What kind of lifestyle choices are we talking about?
The source specifically mentions a balanced diet with healthy fats and limited processed foods and sugar, regular exercise to help regulate hormone production, and stress management techniques like yoga and meditation to balance cortisol levels.
It's about understanding how our lifestyle choices directly impact our hormonal health and making conscious decisions to support our bodies as we age.
Exactly. And I think a key takeaway here is that naturally reversing aging isn't about trying to look 20 again. It's about feeling our best physically and mentally at every stage of life.
That's such a great point. It's about embracing aging while actively supporting our health and well-being. Join us for part 2 of this deep dive as we continue to explore these fascinating strategies for boosting vitality and longevity.
Welcome back to our deep dive on reversing aging naturally.
It's amazing how much we've already covered, and we're just getting started.
You know, we often think of aging as this kind of like straight line going downhill, but what if we flip that idea on its head?
I like where you're going with this.
What if instead of being scared of getting older, we saw aging as a time of growth and change?
That's a really powerful way to look at it.
It's about realizing that every stage of life has its own unique beauty and challenges, and that we can choose to approach getting older with curiosity and a sense of adventure.
Speaking of adventure, the source talks about how important lifelong learning is for keeping that youthful spirit alive.
It's fascinating how keeping our minds engaged can actually help protect our brains from those age-related changes.
So learning new things isn't just about expanding our knowledge. It's about keeping our brains healthy and vibrant.
The source talks about this concept called neuroplasticity, which is basically the brain's ability to change and adapt throughout life.
So by challenging ourselves mentally, we're basically helping our brains stay young and resilient.
And it doesn't have to be about going back to school or anything. It could be as simple as reading, doing puzzles, or learning a new language.
I've always wanted to learn Italian. Maybe now's the time.
There you go. Embrace that curiosity.
Now, while we're talking about embracing new things, the source also touches on the importance of embracing our changing bodies.
This is something that can be really hard, especially for women.
It's true. We're constantly bombarded with messages about fighting wrinkles and defying age.
But what if instead of fighting against aging, we celebrated the wisdom and strength that comes with it?
Yeah, instead of trying to look younger, what if we focused on feeling healthy and vibrant in our own skin?
The piece really emphasizes self-acceptance and self-love as we age.
It's about recognizing that our bodies have carried us through life and deserve our respect and gratitude no matter how they've changed.
And remember, beauty isn't defined by age. It's about how we feel in our own skin, how we carry ourselves, and how we project our inner light.
Speaking of radiating our inner light, the source also talks about how important a positive outlook is for healthy aging.
Our thoughts and beliefs have such a strong impact on our physical and emotional health.
So cultivating a positive mindset isn't just about feeling good, it can actually affect our health.
Studies show that optimists tend to live longer and have a lower risk of chronic diseases.
It's amazing how our thoughts can literally shape our reality.
And the source points out that it's not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything's perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the good, even when things are tough.
It's about being grateful for what we have and finding joy in the simple things.
And remember, our mindset is like a muscle we can train and strengthen it over time.
So if you're feeling negative or down on yourself, don't be too hard on yourself. Just start making small, conscious efforts to focus on the positive. And over time, you'll notice a shift in your overall outlook.
Now, let's switch gears a bit and talk about something that often gets overlooked when we talk about aging, the importance of purpose and meaning.
Oh, I love this topic.
As we get older, it's natural to look back on our lives and ask, what's my purpose? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind?
It's about finding something that gives our lives meaning and makes us feel like we're making a difference.
The source doesn't specifically mention this, but I think it's crucial for healthy aging. Having a sense of purpose gives us a reason to get up in the morning, to connect with others, and to contribute to the world.
And purpose doesn't have to be this grand or extraordinary thing.
Absolutely. It could be as simple as being a loving parent or a grandparent, volunteering in your community, or pursuing a hobby that brings you joy.
It's about finding what lights you up and makes you feel alive.
Now let's move on to a topic that's so essential for both physical and emotional well-being movement.
We talked about the benefits of exercise earlier, but I think it's worth diving a bit deeper into the types of movement that can really help us age well.
The source stresses that it's not about going to the gym every day or running marathons. It's about finding ways to move our bodies that we enjoy and that fit into our lives.
So that could be anything from dancing to gardening to just taking a walk in nature.
Exactly. And the source highlights the importance of incorporating a variety of movements into our routine, like strength training, cardio, and flexibility.
Strength training is important for maintaining muscle mass and bone density, which are crucial for preventing falls as we get older.
And cardio improves heart health, boosts mood, and helps us stay at a healthy weight.
And flexibility keeps our joints moving freely and prevents stiffness and pain.
So find what you love and make it a regular part of your life. Your body will thank you.
Speaking of thanking our bodies, the source also reminds us about the importance of nourishing ourselves with nutrient-rich foods.
We talked about antioxidants earlier, but the source goes further than that. It emphasizes a balanced diet with plenty of fruits, veggies, whole grains, lean protein, and healthy fats.
It's all about giving our bodies the building blocks they need to thrive.
And remember, it's not just about what we eat, but also how we eat. The source encourages mindful eating, which means slowing down, savoring each bite, and paying attention to our body's hunger and fullness cues.
When we eat mindfully, we're more likely to make healthier choices, and we're more likely to enjoy our food and feel satisfied.
Now let's shift gears and talk about something that's often surrounded by mystery and confusion: hormones.
Hormones play such a big role in our overall health, and as we get older, our hormone levels naturally change.
The piece emphasizes how important it is to understand these changes and to talk to a healthcare professional if we're experiencing any symptoms that are concerning.
Right? Hormone replacement therapy can be an option for some people. But the source also highlights natural ways to support hormonal balance.
Like making lifestyle changes, like managing stress, regular exercise, and a healthy diet.
And there are also certain herbs and supplements that can help.
But it's important to do your research and talk to your doctor before taking any supplements. because they can interact with medications or have other side effects.
Now, while we're talking about taking care of our physical health, let's not forget about mental and emotional well-being.
The source stresses that our mental health is just as important as our physical health, especially as we get older.
Absolutely. It's about finding ways to manage stress, cultivate positive emotions, and stay connected with others.
The source points to things like mindfulness meditation and spending time in nature as powerful tools for supporting mental and emotional well-being.
And remember, it's okay to ask for help if you're struggling.
There are so many resources available, therapists, support groups, online communities.
Now, let's move on to a topic that's crucial for healthy aging, but often gets pushed aside: sleep.
We often think of sleep as a luxury, but it's actually essential for our bodies and minds to function properly.
During sleep, our bodies repair themselves, our brains process memories, and our hormones rebalance.
The source stresses how important it is to get enough sleep and create a regular sleep routine.
It also highlights the importance of having a good sleep environment, which means keeping our bedrooms cool, dark, and quiet.
And avoiding caffeine and alcohol before bed and limiting screen time in the evening can also make a big difference in sleep quality.
Now let's talk about something that always comes up when we discuss aging skincare.
We all want to maintain that youthful glow, but the source emphasizes that skincare is more than just using the right products.
Right. It's about protecting our skin from the sun, staying hydrated, and nourishing our bodies from the inside out.
The source really highlights the importance of wearing sunscreen every day, even on cloudy days.
And it also emphasizes using gentle, natural skincare products that don't strip away our skin's natural oils.
Now let's change gears a bit and talk about something that's getting more and more attention when it comes to aging: the gut microbiome.
The gut microbiome is basically all the trillions of bacteria that live in our digestive system.
And it plays a huge role in our overall health, including our immune system, digestion, and even our mood.
The source highlights how important it is to maintain a healthy gut microbiome for healthy aging.
We can do this by eating a diet rich in fiber, probiotics, and prebiotics.
And avoiding processed foods, sugar, and unnecessary antibiotics can also help support a healthy gut microbiome.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to circle back to something we talked about earlier: the importance of purpose and meaning.
Yeah, finding our purpose can be a lifelong journey, but it's definitely a journey worth taking.
The source emphasizes that purpose can come from many places: our relationships, our work, our hobbies, our spiritual beliefs.
It's about finding what brings us joy and makes us feel like we're making a difference.
And remember, purpose can change over time. What matters to us in our 20s might be different from what matters to us in our 50s or 70s.
It's all about staying open to new possibilities and letting our purpose unfold naturally.
And with that, we'll wrap up part 2 of our deep dive. Join us for the final part, where we'll explore even more fascinating insights and strategies for embracing the aging process with vitality and grace.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into reversing aging naturally.
It's been an incredible journey, exploring all these different aspects of aging.
Yeah, it really highlights how much more there is to aging than just trying to fight wrinkles.
Exactly. It's about understanding those intricate processes happening inside and how we can work with our bodies instead of against them.
And I think one of the key takeaways from our discussion is that aging isn't something to be afraid of. It's something to embrace.
Yeah, that's a really important shift in perspective. Instead of dreading getting older, we can choose to see it as a chance for growth, evolution, and self-discovery.
You know, the source doesn't really address this directly, but I'm curious what your thoughts are on how society views aging.
It's interesting how our culture often equates youth with beauty and value, while getting older is seen as something to hide or fight against.
Yeah, it's almost like we're taught to believe that getting older means becoming less vibrant, less relevant, less worthy.
And I think that's a really harmful message. It creates all this pressure to meet these unrealistic standards of youthfulness, which can make people feel inadequate and insecure.
So how do we challenge those societal norms and embrace aging as the natural and beautiful process it is?
I think it starts with changing how we talk about aging. Instead of focusing on what we lose as we get older, let's celebrate the wisdom, the experience, the resilience that we gain.
It's about shifting the focus from outward appearances to inner qualities.
And it's about recognizing that beauty exists in all ages and stages of life.
Yeah, a wrinkle can tell a story. A laugh line shows a life well lived.
Exactly. And I think it's important to surround ourselves with people who share this positive perspective on aging.
People who inspire us to embrace our age and to make the most of each day.
Now let's talk about something that's often seen as the ultimate goal of anti-aging longevity.
The source touches on this briefly, mentioning certain lifestyle factors linked to a longer lifespan.
But it's important to remember that longevity isn't just about adding years to our lives. It's about adding life to our years.
It's about living those years with energy, purpose, and joy.
And while genetics definitely plays a role in how long we live, there are so many things we can do to impact our health span. That's the number of years we live in good health.
The source highlights the importance of things like a healthy diet, regular exercise, managing stress, and strong social connections.
And it also emphasizes finding purpose and meaning in life.
So longevity isn't just about living longer, it's about living better.
Now, as we wrap up our deep dive, let's talk about something that's essential for everyone, no matter how old we are: self-care.
Self-care is often seen as something extra or indulgent, but it's actually essential for our physical, mental, and emotional well-being.
It's about putting our needs first and taking the time to do things that nourish our bodies and minds.
That could include anything from getting enough sleep and eating healthy foods to spending time in nature and connecting with loved ones.
And remember, taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's about filling up our own cups so we can be our best, for ourselves and for others.
So as we conclude our exploration of naturally reversing aging, let's remember that it's not about chasing some magical fountain of youth. It's about embracing the journey of life with all its ups and downs, and making choices that support our overall well-being.
It's about recognizing that aging is a privilege and a chance to grow, change, and become the best versions of ourselves.
We hope this deep dive has inspired you to be proactive about your health and well-being, and to embrace the aging process with grace, energy, and a sense of purpose.
And remember, it's never too late to start making positive changes. Every small step you take is an investment in a healthier, happier, and more fulfilling future.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. We hope you've learned something valuable and feel empowered to create a life that's full of health, energy, and joy at every age.